Hi guys, welcome. So maybe I'll turn it this way so we can all see that works. Hi guys, I'm your cannabis industry insider. I am also the founder of JaneGreen.com, and I am here with Dr. Jana and Dr. Ian. They just did an awesome panel, and I wanted to talk to them because I'm in the cannabis industry, and I wanted to talk to them about cannabis and sex. That's what interests me, and I think that's what interests you guys as well. So Dr. Jana, let's start with you because you're the sex expert, okay?
Sure.
Can you tell us, is cannabis an aphrodisiac?
So we definitely have reports of people saying that when they smoke pot, they feel more sexual desire. They often feel more aroused. So they say that they're more sensitive in some way, so they are more interested in and enjoying sex. I don't quite know how that happens and what the brain does to make that happen, but that's why we have the neuroscientists.
Exactly. So can you tell us what?
But I do want to say that that's not always the case. So not everyone reports that. Some people report that, and then some people say, no, it doesn't do anything for me sexually. So there are individual differences in that, and maybe again Ian can speak to that too.
Sure, yeah. So I study the brain, and so cannabis has molecules in it that bind one of the most common receptors in our brain and in our body, and those receptors modify everything from the way you see the world to the way you think about the world and the way you feel sexual stimulation, right? So these cannabinoid receptors modulate everything from appetite to sensory perception, and one of the things it modulates is sexual stimulation, and so it amplifies it, it turns it up basically, and so that's why it feels so good.
That is awesome.
Why doesn't it feel like that for everyone? Why are the individual
it can be too
differences?
intense. Right, that's a great, so it's basically like turning up the volume on something, and I mean just like if you were to turn up the volume a certain note in a chord, it would overpower the whole song. For some people they're so sensitive already that it's just so intense that it becomes panic-inducing almost. Yeah.
So adult use, this is what we call in the industry adult use. These are people that use it. They don't necessarily have a medicinal value or a reason to use it, but they use it to stimulate appetite and music and sex. So this is real. This is not made up, right?
Absolutely. It's changing the way your brain works.
Awesome. So is it a difference in consumption method between edibles and tinctures?
Well, so the main difference is that when you smoke cannabis, you're getting certain cannabinoids delivered almost directly to your brain. When you eat them, they're actually converted into something that's tremendously more potent. And so THC is literally converted to a slightly different molecule that engages those receptors much more strongly. And so it's more difficult to predict how severe the effects are going to be with an edible.
So go easy on the edible.
Definitely.
Go low and go
know
slow.
what to do.
Yes, that's what we say. So I want to know, what can we do, especially someone in the industry, to get research done on this? Because it's because you guys don't know that much information, and I'm learning as I go, and there's not a lot of information out there for them to go find. So how can we get this, because this is a serious topic, people use this for medication and other purposes. How can we get this more mainstream? And
it's hitting labs more and more.
Okay.
And
As it becomes,
it's becoming less
legal.
taboo from a scientific perspective. I mean, like 10 years ago, if I were to talk to a scientist about cannabis, they would think it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But now it's just an area of study, and not that many labs have been establised yet around cannabis.
There are
but
legal
it's
issues
happening.
around it, but
You have to get cleared by the DEA. It's not as simple, but I mean, we're definitely making progress.
awesome.
You want to talk about Foria and stuff, right?
Yes, I wanted to know, do you recommend cannabis lube? There's Foria, there's Highgasm, there's a couple different ones on the market, and one's being produced each and every day. Do you think that, especially it's with coconut oil, so it's natural, do you think there's, would you recommend Foria? Would you recommend?
So these lubes are basically usually coconut oil based lube that has THC or I'm not exactly sure
CBD,
and
cannabinoids,
other extracts, and so we don't have any research on it, like scientific research or whether it works or not. From more anecdotal evidence, there are people who really swear by them. They say this really works. It makes my vulva really sensitive, and it really enhances the pleasure that I'm getting. And then there are other people saying, I did not feel a thing.
So
it didn't do anything.
It could definitely work, right? You can absorb molecules through those mucosal membranes on the vagina, and also a little bit less effectively, but also on the penis.
Yeah.
The skin there is very absorbent, but it's not remotely as effective, of course, as smoking it or as eating it. But yeah, I mean, there is some validity there.
But it doesn't make you high.
Not in the
Doesn't
same
make,
way. Yeah.
They
Right.
say again, this is anecdotal evidence, but what people say is kind of, it makes my pussy high, but not my brain high, the same way that, you know, smoking or eating it makes
It's
it
affecting
high.
your brain for sure. It's just affecting it in a different way, right? It's getting into your circulatory system, it's getting up into your brain, but it is certainly altering the receptors at the very location that it was dosed, right? But yeah, there's definitely a small high associated with
Is there a difference between the intense amount, because you have intense orgasms on cannabis, so I've experienced it. Is there a difference between the male and female orgasm, the intensity in them on cannabis? Do you know, have you heard of that?
I don't know if there would be any difference, but I don't see why that would affect men and women differently. I don't think it's a sex difference. I don't know. Do you
I can only speculate.
Okay. Well, you guys have been completely awesome. I just really wanted to stop you guys. They just did a panel and we really enjoyed it. And I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this with me. I am your cannabis industry insider and I appreciate you guys for stopping by. Thank you so much. And Dr. Jana and Dr. Ian, please make sure you follow them, guys. Bye.